let's talk about this next story here. The headline from CNBC is, Elon Musk is the most famous guy in the world. He's dominated every story. He's the main character. It's all we can talk about. No one can talk about anything else. Anyway, the actual headline is, Elon Musk booed by crowd after Dave Chappelle brings him on stage at comedy gig. Okay, he was booed. He said it wasn't that many people. I don't think it was, some people are saying he was mercilessly booed off stage. I think the bigger story is, Elon Musk figured out how to make himself famous, and that's for damn sure. He figured out how to make himself the richest guy on the planet, and then he was like, now I'll just be the most famous guy on the planet, and that's what's happening. Dave Chappelle, what did Dave Chappelle even bring him out for? Chappelle apparently joked, you can't boo him because he bought me a jetpack for Christmas, or something like that. Is that how Elon got on stage with Dave Chappelle?
Maybe
he led him on as the richest man on earth, and everyone booed. I think maybe because of that, because they're envy and anger. But also, I don't think he's the richest man on earth. I think maybe on the books.
Yeah, he is.
Well, on the books.
Oh yeah, Putin.
I'm talking like Putin. You got Saudi princes that are worth trillion. I mean, what's the Rothschild
and the Clinton
family
Global
worth
Initiative?
Right now? Yeah,
Bill Gates is the Rothschild.
An article that said Evelyn Rothschild was worth $240 trillion in 2011. I read that article.
Yeah, the real richest people will never be known to the general public because they keep their wealth secret. They don't want to be on the Forbes list. They don't want to be known to everyone, and they have a lot of assets and resources, and they have more convincing ways of hiding their money and their assets in other ways that people can't track down to actually see where they link from. There's a reason journalists that broke the Panama story were essentially assassinated and exterminated. So, and that was just one small banking institution. Imagine all the international global institutions where the big powerful people hide all of their money.
The King of England, I'm sure,
Panama?
is so...
Good.
The Panama Papers? Are you familiar with them?
I'm familiar with them. I kind of thought that they came out and like nothing, like people were like, oh yeah, they, kind of like what Chappelle said. Oh, all the stuff that you think they're doing in that house, they're doing, and everyone's just like, oh well, I guess that they just do it, and then everyone just went back to doing whatever they normally did.
Radio silence on
nothing.
the Panama Papers. After 2 weeks, it like went back underground. You said people got killed that exposed it?
Yeah, the journalists.
How many people are you familiar with?
I knew nothing about that.
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
So, I mean, global oligarchy running bank accounts out of Panama, basically tax-free, I think is the idea.
Well, the real people with money hide their money, right? So, and they never brag about it. They never highlight it. They never show it to everyone. They never try to show off. They never try to be in the headlines. And there's a lot of those families out there that we have no idea about, which I think is important. It's important to note here. But Dave Chappelle also made a very interesting comment, trying to joke about the situation, saying that it was only people in the poor section that were booing him. And then Elon Musk kind of responded, saying that he's rich, and then said that famous slogan by Dave Chappelle, which he did on his show, saying, female dog, which kind of came off a little weird.
Family friendly.
Yeah.
Well, no, apparently someone asked Chris Rock to say it, and then someone told Musk to say it or something. Yeah. The funny thing about this is there's a conspiracy theory now on the left where they're like, Elon is deleting the video because it shows him being booed. And it's like, yo,
it's everywhere.
Twitter is deleting the video because it's a DMCA violation. You can't film comedy specials at events. It's like being in a movie theater and filming. You can't do it. That's why they're deleting it.
You never hear, or unless there's something going on like that little thing, like you don't see comedy events. You'll see like clips of concerts and stuff like that, and bands playing songs, but it's not like you see the jokes from it's always the Netflix specials at the end when they've already come up with they've gone out and toured and selected the best jokes and put them together so that way they can shoot the comedy special. The clips you see are the comedy special of their best jokes and stuff.
Yeah, with some comedy specials you have to leave your phone at the door.
Most
you don't even let them. Yeah. They don't even allow you to come in there with your phone. So.
Yeah, and put it in a bag. They put it in a bag. That's like, I get it, man, but it's stupid because bring two phones. Like if you want to do it, you can, and all that really happens is people can't access their phone to call 911 in an emergency. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I think it's kind of dumb.
Do you like try and limit the crowd at All That Remains concerts?
Never. No. We've always been we've always been one of the bands that's like, we want people to experience the show the way that they want to. There's a lot of artists that are like, put your phone down and be present and da-da-da. It is not in any way going to affect my show if you hold your phone up. Because if you watch people that are filming, they are almost never filming or never watching what they're filming. They're holding it up and they're looking at least me. If I go in front of them and they're holding up their phone, they're not looking at their phone. They look at me because I'll put my hand out or something, and so it becomes an interaction.
And you know why
You know.
people film most of these shows? At least my opinion of it is, it's not to share. It's so that they can remember it.
Yeah.
And so that they can pull up their phone and be like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember being there. But a lot of people have this idea that people go to shows to hold their phones, and there's like a joke where it's, what are you going to do? No one can see it. You're going to share that video, and no one's going to even... No, it's for the people. It's for the people who
Yeah.
were there to never forget it. They're taking a piece of the show with them.
Or fireworks.
It'd be interesting if we could record each other at the shows, and then you'd get my video of you, I'd get your video of me.
I've got oodles of recordings of people at shows. I mean, we had a people filming our entire. The last tour we did was this spring. We went out for the Fall of Ideals anniversary tour, and we were out for 2 months, and we had a film crew with us the entire time, and we were filming and taking video and stuff. So there's plenty of video of people filming our guys filming them.
Do you ever take camera out on stage and film the audience and all that? Live Instagram, all that?
360 cameras on the stick and stuff. So yeah, we've done a bunch of that stuff. It's super cool. A bunch of that's on our TikTok. It's TikTok.com/all that remains or whatever.
I thought this Elon thing was kind of blown out. The booing kind of thing was blown out of proportion. It didn't feel like the crowd was booing. It was a lot of mixed emotions. Did you guys see the video?
Elon said it was like 10% booing.
Yeah.
And then the left started saying like, haha, he's lying. And it's like, or I don't know, why would he lie? And they're like, he was booed off stage. He's like, no, I actually just stood there for a little while. Like, what did you think he was coming on stage to do anyway?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's going to get up there and transform into a Tesla or something.
Yeah, or even make jokes. He was just that's why I'm like, it's kind of weird that he called him on stage in the first place, but he did.
Yeah.
What do you expect from Elon? But they wanted this narrative. And this is why I was complaining about
Crap out a battery.
Twitter file released on Saturday evening. So we're at Korean barbecue having dinner, and I'm like, it's not about the fact that it's the weekend. It's about dinner time. When Elon did the Twitter Spaces on a Saturday, I was at Whole Foods doing my grocery shopping, and I'm listening the whole time, and I'm tweeting. I'm like, this is big news. But they put out a story, the Twitter files, that was like medium tier news on a Saturday during dinner time, and it's like, okay, now you've just killed that story. It wasn't the strongest Twitter file to begin with. They put out at a time to ensure nobody would ever see it and remember what it was. And then the next day, Elon goes on stage with Dave Chappelle. If you wanted to make sure a story dies, that was a masterclass. And now,
Interesting.
What were Saturday's Twitter files again?
Uneventful.
I have no idea. I didn't look at them until later.
So they could have waited for that news cycle for today. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have had as big of a news story, I guess, because the next one they released was bigger.
Well, my next question is, did you catch the Twitter files on Saturday? How were they? What they?
I vaguely remember them because we were sitting down. It was at 7 something. It was like 6:30. We're sitting down to have dinner on a weekend. And then, I'm checking my phone all the time and I'm reading through it and we're waiting for food and I'm reading through these things. And then, look, try and remember what you can when you are eating dinner. That's the thing. It's not just about being on the weekend. Like like I mentioned, when Elon did the Twitter Spaces on the weekend, it was a huge story what he was talking about. So, we were all there for it. Huge Twitter Spaces, 100,000 people. But when they put out a smaller story on a Saturday at dinner time, it's just like you've just executed the story.
Yeah.
It was a nice dinner we had, though.
So good.
Did you stay off your phone?
Garlic pork
you off?
belly.
No, I was kind of reading halfway too, but it was kind of difficult because you're there at the table and you got really good food and you're just trying to relax. And sometimes you just can't be glued to the phone all the time. And usually that's the weekend is when people usually put down the phone and when people, especially in the Jewish faith, kind of sit down with their family members and hang out with them and spend time with family and friends.
Shabbat.
The big issue for me is I would love nothing more than to work on weekends. And I used to. But anybody who works in PR, marketing, media, otherwise knows it's everyone else who will not listen to a word you have to say on Saturday. It's Saturday, so I say, okay, fine. I'm going to go get dinner. I put out a video on a Saturday. It's the views are the lowest of any day of the week. That's marketing 101. PRs, if you want the big press release, it's Tuesday at 11, Tuesday at noon or something like that. So it was Monday, I think at 1 p.m. That's a really, really great time to drop a story. And so we got it.
I enjoy the break. I enjoy being able to clear my mind, not think about anything political. I might share a meme or two, but other than that, I'm like, I don't want to get into this kind of larger political, social psychology of what's really going on. I just kind of want to get away from it all, disassociate, and take a breather.
Yeah, you got to let your
That's just
body
me.
and mind rest. It's similar with
Yeah.
singing. I was giving it my all a couple days ago. I was telling you, and then you just got to let the next day just got to do nothing.
Just like meditation,
Let the
because this is my life. As soon as I wake up, all the way till I go to sleep, like 6 days a week. So Saturday is my only day off. So I try to enjoy it as much as I
You're
can.
talking about singing. Singing, there's a physical aspect with singing too. There's a certain amount of recovery that your vocal cords need. So it's not just a matter of mental or psychological tiredness from that kind of stuff. It really matters, how much effort you're putting in, or how much work you're putting on your vocal cords.
Do you eat
and
oil?
I think your brain also works in the same way, where you
For
gotta relax, you gotta meditate, you gotta
Well, that's-
take some time off.
that's what
because if
sleeping
your
is.
brain is always running, but also during the day, having some meaningful time to be able to sit down and be in quiet, I think is one of the most underrated, super powerful actions that many human beings should be taking, but sadly aren't. And there isn't even a moment in time where a lot of people have quiet. They always have something playing in the background. They always have some kind of TV on or some kind of YouTube video on. And I think that is also distracting people from the larger power of what is now.
Also, gut. I think your gut needs a rest from time to time because
Yeah,
it's a
that's why fasting has been found to be so beneficial and good for people.
Just like the muscles have neurons and they need to rest, the brain has neurons, the stomach has neurons, the heart has neurons. The heart needs a rest from time to time, probably stress.
Just turn your heart off.
yeah, just
See what happens.
relax. But I think if cutting out food
I
for a
don't
little
want
while,
to give my heart any rest. I'm going to push back on that idea. I don't want my heart to stop.
Well, it needs not
needs to
stop,
keep
stop, but it
going.
needs to be rested.
slow a little bit.
in a rest
Yeah,
state.
right. Just chill out.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.